Well, good evening. Good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? God bless everybody on this podcast tonight. We're going to be talking about some juicy stuff here. We're going to be talking about President Trump and the pardoning of Diddy. So we're going to be discussing that tonight because it is in the news. Yes. And the thing that we like to do is to raise awareness and point to Jesus always. And that's one of the reasons why we're on the podcast. So if you like the video, you like, halfway in, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe and share the videos. Again, my name is Vincent Rose. The purpose of me doing these podcasts is to raise awareness and point to Jesus. He's our only hope. And I hope by the end of this broadcast, you realize that Jesus Christ is our only hope. There is no other hope. You can try to hope in man, but then the Bible says that some trust in chariots, some trust in horses, but I would trust in the name of the Lord. And so tonight, what we're going to be talking about is what is Trump really afraid of? When it comes down to it, is there something going on? And is this something that's going to start the fall of the American justice system? When it comes down to it, we've been seeing in the news all of the atrocities that P. Diddy has been doing in and around Hollywood and also in the hip hop world. He's a gangster, he's a thug, but then also he is a music mogul who possibly has ties to the Mossad, has ties to the CIA, could be a CIA operative. Candace Owens was doing a lot of talking about that. And I'm going to let you see what she has to say about it. And maybe that might kind of get us kicked off there because she did talk about it quite a bit. And I thought, it was interesting how she put it together. So let's hear what she has to say about it.
Most legal experts agree that if Diddy's case only involved the Mann Act, then they probably wouldn't have filed charges against him at all. But the question is, why would Trump move to interject on a person that has clearly been involved in something very sinister? Why is their Department of Justice even thinking or weighing this case at all? I have an answer.
AI writes my copy and
yeah, I know you're going to have an answer, Candace. So her answer is going to be that he is actually connected to much darker people, people that have some particular connection to Israel, maybe connection to the CIA. This is one of the things that Candace is really saying about this whole thing. And I thought it was really interesting the way she put it, and how she put it out there. Again, as we watch this thing unfold, it's a very different Donald Trump than we had actually seen before. This Donald Trump is one which is actually taking, he's doing a lot of things that we didn't think he would ever do. And so this is very interesting. It does fall into the category of the same kind of deception that we've been talking about since maybe 2014. I think since 2014 we've been talking about this kind of deception, but it's really kind of coming out in the open.
It's because
right
both
now.
of these were two very sophisticated blackmail operations that were being run by the deep state. And by the deep state, I mean the CIA and the Mossad, who have been working together since, they shot JFK. And by they, I'm referring to the CIA, and LB Johnson was involved in this. The precursor to AIPAC was involved in this. Everybody knows what happened in this country, okay? It's so silly to call this a conspiracy theory anymore. And since then, I don't think there's a difference between the CIA and the Mossad, frankly. That's my position. And so these operations are alike. Because in order for the state, the deep state, to maintain control over the population, they have to be able to influence opinions. They have to be able to control all of us. There's more of us than there are of them.
Okay, and so that what she's saying is that basically that the way that to control people is through blackmail, and one of the blackmail that's being done, or the way they blackmail people, is to get them in compromising situations where they are actually part of this this I don't want to say the name of it, but again, this ring of people who are abusers of certain people who are we people, right? So let's just say it like that, so we don't get in trouble with YouTube algorithm, because again, they don't want this information out, and so hey, we got to be careful how we say it. But that's where she's going with this, and I just thought it was pretty bold of her to just come right out and say it and put
right?
it out
So they
there
need to
like
make
that.
sure that we don't get wise to what they've been up to, which means you have to control the athletes and the celebrities because they have influence. You have to control the politicians because they have the ability to vote on policy. And yeah, influence is the name of the game. That is the reason that they want to control celebrities. This is where Diddy comes into play, right? Diddy is hosting these parties. Everyone wants to go to a Diddy party. And everyone wants to go to Diddy's all-white party, whatever he was known for. You get into Hollywood, the first thing you want to do is have an invite, and there are cameras wired everywhere, and drugs are being passed around because they want to get you in a compromising situation. It's exactly what Epstein was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. And so how deep does this rabbit hole go when it comes down to President Donald Trump and the things that are going on there? What would John the Baptist say? Well, John the Baptist would say that, there was a bunch of snakes and vipers, and that's what he went out into the wilderness to preach. And he preached that, about the people of his day and the corruption of his day. And he was preaching against, there were two people who were in a royal position, and they were carrying on a incestuous and adulterous relationship where they were involved in a act of incest and adultery. And so John the Baptist preached about them and continued to preach. And of course, John the Baptist ended up with his head on a charger, right? So that's one of the ways they get to you. John the Baptist was made unalive because of his speaking out against this thing. But here, a lot of people don't want to face the consequences of standing up for truth. Could it be that Donald Trump is actually afraid of what will happen if he actually spoke out and spoke the truth out? Or could it be maybe possibly maybe it's not that at all. Maybe it really has to do with that Donald Trump is really a friend of Diddy, and Diddy and he are friends. But again, here's what Donald Trump has to say about Diddy, and I think we have some statements from Donald Trump about it.
That Aubrey O'Day touted her time working with Diddy in the 2000s girl group Danity Kane as having prepared her for the business world, prompting Trump to defend the artist and entrepreneur when Aubrey didn't want to discuss the matter further.
I am a very strict and focused businesswoman because working for Diddy for 6 years trained me to have to be perfect.
Working for Diddy?
Absolutely.
I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
He expects.
Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that question.
Wow.
Wow, that's something. She don't want to answer it. Donald Trump is over there. Is he a good guy? Is he? Good and well, Diddy's not a good guy. So here we are listening to this particular thing. Listen, the Bible talks about lawlessness will abound in the land, right? And that's what will happen. We can find that in Matthew chapter 24, verse 12, because the lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. And we have now, according to the Bible, the mystery of lawlessness at work. Isn't it a mystery why these people continue to allow the good to actually be punished and the bad to go get out of jail? You get a get out of jail free card when you're bad, actually. And so we have the vice versa. We have the opposite happening. Good is called evil and evil is called good. And this is the kind of society that we live in. And it is disappointing, my brothers and sisters. I would say it is strongly disappointing because, if you believe in justice, if you believe in truth, if you believe that truth really matters, you don't want to see people go around and just kind of blatantly ignore the law with these high crimes, right? You don't want to see that. But again, here, many of his strongest supporters are actually getting pretty upset with Donald Trump about this whole matter. It's kind of interesting that many of the people who are even on the left, they are wondering what is going on. Many people want to know: have you lost it? Are you going to do anything? Are you going to bring justice? Everybody wants justice. Everybody's seeking justice, and it just seems like it's not coming fast enough. It's not coming with any kind of respect for anything, right? And so now we're seeing what we would call his true colors, right? At least you know that he isn't racist like they've been saying. Okay, well, Donald Trump is racist. No, he's got a lot of black friends, and he's got a lot of white friends too, but he's got a lot of black friends as well. And I've even seen him hugged up with Al Sharpton. You know, at one time I've seen him with Jesse Jackson. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you know this, but he gave Jesse Jackson a permanent spot in the Trump Tower when he awarded Jesse Jackson a office in the Trump Tower to run his Rainbow Operation. I think that was what it was, Rainbow Coalition. At that particular time, Donald Trump was instrumental in getting him in the Rainbow or getting in on the Rainbow Coalition and helping with Jesse Jackson's even Jesse Jackson's campaign. I think that's one of the things that happened here. But the news is actually asking the questions about, let's kind of listen in. Say here.
What I read, I don't know, he didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me. Mr.
President. Well, here's what he found out. That Diddy said a lot of things about
Apprentice. You mentioned once in 2012 that
during the time that he was running for president, Diddy, of course, took the other side and started running with narratives about Donald Trump being racist and other things when he knew that Donald Trump was really not that. So why would Diddy do that? We don't really know, except for it's a possibility that Diddy was supposed to play his role in this whole thing. But now Donald Trump is coming out with a still that it is a possibility that he would pardon Diddy. And that's one of the things that he still is maintaining. He's still saying that, which is very, very interesting that he's saying that. So I think, in my opinion, even though this is jarring news, it's very confusing. Many of the Trump's strongest supporters see Diddy as guilty, right? And not just in shady business, but long-standing allegations of abuse and exploitation. Yet Trump is still thinking about pardoning Diddy. And not only Diddy, but even the Ghislaine Maxwell is what he was even alluding to. He said, I won't rule that out. So what is it that these people have on him that would cause him to ignore all of these long-standing allegations of abuse and exploitation, even though, again, the current case is really not about domestic abuse. But, you know, if you're like me, you've seen the videos of Diddy running around in a bathrobe, kicking this woman, you know, in a hotel, and he's kicking her. And it just seems like it's the craziest thing you ever want to see, you know, that this man attacking a woman in a hotel. But, you know, again, Maybe I shouldn't show this to you, but it is one of the things that actually was occurring. And so even though it's not a domestic, they didn't even bring him in for this, but this is the kind of person that we're talking about. So if we're talking about this kind of person, it's very alarming, right? It's very alarming that even Trump would even consider it. But he says again, even though Diddy has been he's been accused of domestic abuse in the court of public opinion, right? And I know public opinion sometimes can be damaging, but I mean, with this much evidence, we got to know that something's going on with this guy, right? So for much of the MAGA base, they're looking at uh, Diddy as guilty. And I'm sure many people on the left are looking at Diddy as guilty. It was the first time I ever seen a bunch of men cry. They had a bunch of men that actually came out and were crying, and they were looking at Diddy as guilty, right? So what's really going on? One of the oddest things that's happening, it seems to be an eroding of our trust in the system. Now, if we look above and fly above this whole thing and then take a bird's eye view of America and just look at America the way it is right now, you can't really trust in the system. You can't trust that, justice will be done, that, they're going to eventually right will rule over good will go over evil, right? That's what we kind of want. That we want good to win over evil. But right now we're kind of having a problem seeing that happen, because it seems to be that it just won't ever get straightened out, right? That's what we're looking at. We're just kind of looking at it just won't get straightened out. So hey, listen, Claudia, you want to come on and talk about it? Yeah, that'd be great for you to come on and talk about it. I got a friend of mine once, he said, listen, I want to get in on this. But yeah. Well, if you got you still have the meeting. Claudia is checking me out, and he says he still wants to get on to talk about it. If you still got the meeting link, then go ahead and use it, brother. I'll let you in if you want to come on in. Anyway, yeah. But anyway, like I'm saying here, just want to look at this whole thing. We have an eroding system of a collapse that is happening in America. It's like one person was saying we have a criminal justice system that is broken. Now, I know that most people don't want to say it like that. We want to say that we're on the road to making America great again. Many of the MAGAs get angry with you about this. As a matter of fact, as soon as you see anybody going to talk about Trump, you don't want anybody to say anything about him. And I understand that. I understand your trepidation, your fear about what I'm saying. But if you're really honest, how good is the American justice system? Is the American justice system, is it really working for you? Or are we seeing something now that is taking place in America that makes you want to say, hey, I just wish I'm hungry for something to go right here. I'm hungry for righteousness. I really need God right now. We need God to come and straighten this thing out. I don't know if you feel like I do, but I don't think it's working the way it's supposed to. I just really don't see it that way. And so, again, there may be some people who want to comment about that too. Let me get you over in the chat here. And I see that there are a lot of people over here in the chat, but just kind of looking at this here. Let's see here. Laurie, let's see. Shaw, you said, talking about the only color that he sees is green. Well, yeah, that's the only color that really matters in this case. And, there's a lot of people who are possibly even looking at this as a racial kind of situation. And they are seeing this as something that, as we see this thing here, you're seeing it as maybe a black and white situation. It's unfortunate that many people see it that way. But, again, as we look at this whole thing, a lot of the MAGA base are pretty upset about it because they are seeing this as a, we thought Trump was for us, and now he's for everybody that's corrupt. And then when they pulled a black man into it, it could have been even that they want to come and lynch Trump too. When it comes down to it, I got to be honest. This is getting pretty strange around here. And again, when you're a conservative, it's very difficult to sort this stuff out because we know that truth really matters, right? Conservatives know that we're working for the truth. We're working for God. We're supposed to be working for God. Claudia, do you have my link? I sent it to you on your phone. I don't know, brother. I sent it to you on phone. All you got to do is use the link. If you use the link, you can get right on in. I just sent it to you. Anyway, but yeah, let's see. Daryl, you said, let's see. Well, good evening to you. And let's see. And let's see. Abia Nathan, we are of a different kingdom. Amen to that. I agree with you, brother. But a lot of people don't know it. A lot of people don't know it, and they believe that the kingdom of God is here right now. And so, no, you got to use my link. There's no Zoom here. We don't do Zoom. We don't do Zoom here. We're doing Restream. Yeah, but so we are of a different kingdom, but there are a lot of people who are living in this world like, it is the kingdom of, the kingdom of God is supposed to be here, right? And it makes you really angry, right? As we're looking at this whole thing with Diddy. So I think it's a deliberate, I'm gonna just let the cat out the bag. I think it's deliberate. I think that what they want you to believe is that the justice system is broken. In the last possibly maybe 25 years, we have seen some extraordinary things happen in the criminal justice system that just doesn't make any sense. Just think about that. They are not only coming from the left, far left, they are actually coming from the right, the conservative right. I mean, it's like the whole system is being burned down, and they're allowing it to be burned down because nobody's standing for righteousness. I mean, it would have been just unheard of if 25 years ago we had a president that was talking about interceding on the behalf of the criminal justice system and pardoning somebody simply because that person was treated like you. How did Trump put it? Trump said, here's what Trump said about it, why he's interested in the Diddy case. He said, they treated me unfairly and they are doing the same thing to him. And he just doesn't like the fact that he believes that the federal agents unfairly targeted Diddy. And that's a pretty strong statement. He says it's not just sympathy, it's Trump equating Diddy's situation with his own legal battles. So some kind of way, we got a president in office who feels like he is the same or similar, or he can relate to this guy who is out in the hallway beating his girlfriend in a bathrobe. I mean, how crazy is that? And we know when really this was not what he's been persecuted for. But I mean, didn't Trump actually come in saying, "Oh, I don't smoke and I don't drink, I I don't do any drugs. And didn't he come in with this supposedly clean image? Now he's relating to some of the most shady characters, Epstein, right? And then Ghislaine Maxwell. And these people have a long history of CIA operations, right? They are both involved with Israel very heavily. Ghislaine Maxwell's father was a double agent for both the British and for Israel, allegedly. And he ended up in a very tragic accident, thrown off of his own yacht, body naked, laying face down on the water, right? And that's how Ghislaine Maxwell's father died. And then he received an award from the state of Israel, saying he was one of the greatest assets that they ever did have. I mean, he was the publisher of the Mirror, the Mirror news, the news, I guess what you call the news publication. I'm sorry. So he was the owner of the Mirror news publication. And not only that, his daughters owned the Google before it was Google, right? They owned Magellan. And Magellan was one of the search engines that collected data and did a lot of web crawling before they turned all of that over to Google. And so their connections to Israel, and then also their operations in terms of trafficking minors and that kind of thing, having their own island, taking those people who were wealthy celebrities and politicians to the island, all of this stuff just together, it stinks of espionage. It sounds like espionage. It sounds like criminal activity. Yet, even with Diddy's taking celebrities to his house, setting them up with compromising situations with trafficking, prostitutes, and many of them underage. And so they know this. The government knows this. The CIA knows. They all know this. But at the same time, they are allowing this corruption to go on unnoticed until somebody steps out of line. And then I guess when they step out of line, then of course they come and put you in jail. And there may be a lot of good FBI and CIA agents who really are working for good. But then, then there is this other element out there where these people are actually involved in espionage, bribery, and all the rest, right? And so this is all part of the America and the world that we actually do live in, right? Very, very interesting indeed. But again, as we look at this, we're talking about Trump pardoning, and this pardoning talk is why many of the MAGAs have left Trump. And Trump said, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. He says, as a matter of fact, sometimes I think he called them one time, he called them stupid people. You know what I mean? So we're looking at a whole different Trump than we looked at when he first came to be this person who was supposed to be the outsider. And he was supposed to be fighting the swamp. Now he's actually part of the swamp. And I'm gonna tell you this. I already knew he was a swamp when he first actually began to start making his first decisions, right? And then you can see right off the bat that he's part of the swamp that he's supposed to be cleaning up. But again, judges are under fire for political decisions. Celebrities are being punished for actually standing up against power. And the confusion that we're seeing today is just inconsistent. We lost trust in just about everybody and any person out there that might be trying to stand up for the right thing. You can tell that times are shifting. and it's confusing, it's inconsistent, and we have a loss of trust. Could it be intentional? I think it is. Like I said, I think it's really the goal is to shake our faith in the American justice system to replace it with something else. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at a destruction, a takedown of the American justice system, just like we saw with 9/11. It was a huge takedown. Now we have the collapse of the American justice system so that they can implement a new global system that will probably be based in what AI is getting ready to do. And they're probably going to have no longer a judge or lawyers. You just go to the AI and AI will figure out whether you're innocent or guilty. And you'll have to have all of that done through this computerized system. It's just my opinion, right? Again, now the Bible says that again in 2 Thessalonians, we are going to see the mystery of lawlessness is spread. And it was already at work during the time of Paul, but now it is really unfolding, the mystery of lawlessness. And it makes us wonder what in the world is going on. Why is all of this happening? So somebody's talking about my let's see here. You talking about my hat? Yeah, okay, whatever, brother. If you don't like the hat, go buy me one or shut up. People, it is amazing what people do. If you don't like my hat, go buy me one and shut up. But it's amazing. And then people have the nerve to talk about what you wear. I'm just going to go and ignore you. Let's go on. So what I'm talking about now is I'm really talking about is the mystery of iniquity, the mystery of lawlessness. There is a bunch of lawlessness happening right now in our world. And what we have to do is we have to pray about this lawlessness because it's chaos. It's chaos. And it's offering, again, as we look at this new world order, we're seeing what they're doing. They're bringing order out of chaos, order out of chaos. And that's what we're seeing. Trump sees himself as a, kind of like a gateway. And so what he's doing is that he was brought in to bring in the new world order. And so he's bringing it in. And the way he's bringing it in through a lawlessness. And that's what he did before. When he left office, we had January 6th, and everybody started acting up with lawlessness. Now, at the same time, there were a lot of people who were involved in January 6th that were all involved in this entire, what do you call this affair? They were involved in being like imposters. They were out there acting their role. They had on their special outfits. You had your Proud Boys. You had this guy with the big horn on his head and the red paint and all that kind of thing. And he's supposed to be representing MAGA, but there really wasn't a real movement. I wasn't buying it. And maybe you buying it. I wasn't buying it. I did not think at all that was the true thing. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that on Rumble because I can't really talk about it here. And so I'm going to meet you on Rumble and we'll be talking about it a little bit more on Rumble. So if you guys would like to meet me on Rumble, then we can do it. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, brother. You said not my hat. Okay. I was about to say, because I got this hat. I got this hat and I think it was in Europe over there, in Europe somewhere. And I said, well, I'll pick me up a hat and put it on tonight. And I was going to wear my European hat. And sometimes folks look at it and say, oh, this is a Illuminati hat and all this kind of thing. I want you to see this hat says Holland. I was in Holland and I picked this hat up in Holland. So I'm about to say, you don't insult me about my hat. There are a lot of folks who likes to do that. But anyway, we're going to be on Rumble tonight, and I'm going to be talking about some other things, some deeper things that I can't really get in on here. We're going to hear a little bit more about that. Then I'm going to switch over to the topic of what is going on with RFK. And I want to bring that up in just a little while too. So if you want to hang out, go over there to my Rumble channel and join over there. And the Rumble channel link is right here if you'd like to. Well, this actually is just a link here for all my channels. So if you want to go over there, you can join me over there on Rumble. And I'm going to be on Rumble for maybe about 30 more minutes to kind of talk to you guys in private, because again, on this platform, you just can't, there are just certain things you can't say, right? If you also, the way, if you're going to just put it straight into your search engine, you just go to Linktree / Vincent Rhodes, linktr.ee/ Vincent Rhodes. And then that's the way you actually get over there to my channel there. And so we're going to be getting off. God bless you. Remember, until next time, this truth will set you free. So again, those people who are going to be joining us on Rumble, don't go away. We're going to be right on Rumble. Let's get ready to Rumble tonight and talk a little bit more. I'll be talking, like I said, for about